pleasure to welcome you to today's groundbreaking ceremony. Joining me on stage, well, kind of on stage, on the side there, are several people representing agencies who's helped make this effort possible. At this time, I'd like to invite Mayor Crafton up and for his opening words. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. What a great day to be in Kennett. So, as Mayor of Kennett, I am thrilled to be a part of this exciting event. An event just as exciting as the one that took place at this very location 53 years ago. In 1969, a group of business, civic, and community leaders stood in this very location, welcoming Uniroyal to our town, just as we're welcoming Cim-Tek here today. The City of Kennett is proud to welcome Cim-Tek Filtration to our community. This employer, bringing 77 new jobs to our community, is a very welcome scenario, one that we hope to create a trend of positive growth for our community. We thank you for choosing Kennett to be the home of your newest endeavor. We welcome you with open arms and look forward to a fruitful relationship for many years to come. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for the really warm welcome. I was driving through town for the first time yesterday, and it brought back many memories of home, except it's about 5 times larger than where I grew up. So it's a booming metropolis compared to where we're from. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here today for this momentous occasion. My name is Michael Ayers. In my day job, I'm the CEO of the Melbourne Regional Chamber. So I appreciate everything that Danny does for the community down in the Space Coast of Florida. But I'm also a member of the board of directors for Cim-Tek, and I have the distinct pleasure of representing the company and several generations of my family that are here today. In my role at the I got all these things. I'm trying not to bump off the podium here, so bear with me. Trying to get a hold here. In my role at the chamber, I have the opportunity to participate in many ribbon cuts, many grand openings, but this one today is extra special. As one of 11 grandchildren of Arthur Richard Ayers, who's the founder of Cim-Tek Filtration, it's my pleasure to join you today on behalf of our family. It's a monumental day for our family and for our company, and I hope also for the city of Kennett. We are thrilled to be a part of your community and celebrate the future of Cim-Tek in this facility, and we're overwhelmed by the positive response we've received from the city and from the county and everyone in the area. There are many people here today that made this possible, so I'm not going to be quite as brief as the mayor. My son, I was reviewing the remarks with him last night, and he said, "Well, Dad, it's too long." I said, "Well, 2 things. It's a lot of pages, but it's really big font, so it's not as long as it looks. And you only get one chance to make a first impression. So bear with me. I want to take a minute to introduce some people who have traveled far and wide to be here today. While our Cim-Tek founder, our grandfather, passed over 20 years ago, joining us today are 4 of his 5 surviving children who are now the owners of the company and board members. They include my Uncle Jim, there's Jim, who was president for many years of the company, his wife Linda, my father Steve, joined by my mother Marilyn, my Uncle Bob, somewhere, oh there he is, my Uncle Bob, his wife Chris couldn't join us today, my Aunt Betty, joined by her husband Phil, who is also the chair of the board for Cim-Tek, longtime chair of the board. The 5th child, my Uncle Will, who spent much of his adult life running Cim-Tek, passed away several years ago, but we remember him on this special day. But the family doesn't stop there. Also joining us today is my sister Marianne, my cousin Jeff, the CEO, who you won't hear from, but you'll hear about later. My other cousin Tommy, who's the CFO of Cim-Tek. There's Tommy in the back, with his wife Lisa. and my cousin Johnny. There's Johnny. There he is. And we have a few members of the fourth generation of the family here. My son Braden. There he is. I told him to get in front and take pictures too, but he's not doing that either. And Jeff's kids, Clayton and Rianne. And I should mention my wonderful wife, Katie, who is not here. She really wanted to be here today, but she's due to give birth in a few weeks to another member of the fourth generation, a little girl, and we have a couple other girls on the way in the next few months. So the family continues to grow. Thank you for indulging me in all those introductions, but I thought it was important for many reasons. One of them being they all took the time to travel here to celebrate, but we also want the community to know how incredibly excited the Ayers family is, how important this is to us, and for the future of our company here in Kennett. I would also be remiss if I didn't recognize Lynn Clarkson. Where's Lynn? There's Lynn. So Lynn is a longtime board member, one of the only non-family board members. I couldn't get an actual year of how long you've been a board member, but it's been a while. He actually spans all three generations of the company in some form or fashion. Has had a long and lasting impact on the company. One of the few individuals around that worked with my grandfather and my father and his siblings, and now my generation, including all of our cousins. So thank you, Lynn, for being here today. Thank you for the wisdom you've provided over the years and the significant contributions you've made to Cim-Tek and our success. Also joining us all the way from the Netherlands is someone that feels like family, because I've known him since I was a child. Anthony Verhulst. Where's Anthony? There he is. Anthony's here today with his two nephews from Brazil, Eric and Otavio. I think they're more excited to come and experience Memphis, but they also decided to come over and join us today. Anthony's been involved with Cim-Tek since 1993, when he pretty much single-handedly launched the brand in Europe. And for the almost 30 years now, he's been leading the sales efforts, so much so that Cim-Tek's now a synonymous brand with fuel filters in the European market. So we thank you, Anthony, for all you've done. Also with us, or they were with us until they ran to the airport, but Greg Hockman and Steve Simpson were here from Hockman Lewis, who does all of our international sales outside of Europe. Since 1998, started with our grandfather. And from their very humble beginnings in 98, they've grown 20 times their sales now in Latin America, Middle East, Asia, Australia, Africa, New Zealand. Probably some others I'm forgetting. Before further recognition and discussion about the future of this facility, I think it's always important to acknowledge the past. And the Cim-Tek story begins 67 years ago in the tiny town of Bement, Illinois. As I said, population 1,500. Arthur Richard, armed with a mechanical engineering degree from the University of Illinois, coming off service in the Army Air Corps following Pearl Harbor, he moved with his bride Mary to the family farm in Bement. He began work at FS and traveled regularly, and upon his travels, he discovered there was a need for filters for gas storage tanks on farms. Cim-Tek was born. There's a lot more to the story, but he's a really smart man with many different patents, and the rest is history. And what started as a sole proprietorship in his garage has now grown to a thriving company that employs 115 people up in Illinois and 15 here and growing. With plans for many more to ramp up the factory. About 15 years ago, it became clear to those in charge that we were quickly outgrowing our facilities in Illinois, and they started reviewing options to grow. For many reasons, I won't get into those. After an initial focus on Illinois, we shifted to the southeast, particularly looking in West Tennessee. That search proved fruitless for over a decade until Jeff discovered this old plant here in town. And it was the turning point after more than a decade of searching. Kennett and this facility checked all the boxes for us, and we made the purchase in 2022. Started on this journey that's culminating with today's event. So let's talk a few minutes about the person who should be up here representing the family today. but tends to shun the spotlight. My cousin Jeff, who you wouldn't believe it, but I'm 6 months his senior. I know that's hard to believe. So we grew up together. He's our CEO. And I must admit, if you had told me 30 years ago that we would be in this position, for many, many different reasons, I would say you were crazy. But we won't get into all of Jeff's history. Jeff's been at Cim-Tek now for 17 years, and for many of those, he was acting in the CEO role, pretty much. But it became official in 2022. And I can honestly say we would not be here today, and Cim-Tek would not be having the success it has without the hard work and dedication of Jeff. And he also managed to convince our cousin Tommy to join him a year ago as CFO. And I have no doubt, I rehearsed this and it was easier. I have no doubt that our grandfather's looking down right now. Very proud. Stop tearing up, Tommy. Very proud of the success of Cim-Tek, and even more so, knowing that it's still family held and being run by Jeff and Tommy, and the family's so involved. So the Kennett community has welcomed us with open arms, and I'm only half joking when I say we wouldn't be here if you didn't have such a wonderful country club. Jeff likes it so much here that he bought a house and pretty much left town. So if not at the factory, you will most certainly find him on the golf course. Maybe more there than here. But I want to thank everyone that's welcomed us so warmly, starting with Melissa, when first in her chamber role, now in the economic development role. Danny now helming the chamber. They've been there every step of the way, from the initial purchase of the building to all the final details to make this event happen. And I will say, doing ribbon cuts, they do way more for a ribbon cut than our chamber does. We pretty much didn't have to do anything, so that was great. Thanks to Jim Grieving, who's been involved from the beginning, now the director of the Boot Hill Regional Planning Commission. Thank you, Jim. All the individuals at the Missouri Department of Economic Development, you're going to hear from here shortly. Thanks for your support and helping us to obtain the incentives that made this possible. And speaking of those incentives, thank you to the County Commission, Don Collins, Ron Huber, and Patrick McHaney for supporting those incentives that encouraged us to be here. I probably shouldn't have started naming names because inevitably I will leave someone out who played a really important role. But a few others I'll mention. Johnny Dalton, Maurer, and Chittister, who was very helpful on legal matters. And thank you to quite possibly one of the most important people in this whole process, whose title I don't know. His name is Bob Young. Jeff calls him the keeper of the facility and the doer of all things. Where's Bob? There he is. You know, many of you probably know him and know of his efforts, but without his efforts to preserve the building over the last few years, we may not have been able to purchase it. He did a fantastic job maintaining it and helping us get it off the ground, get things off the ground here. So thank you, Bob, for the role you've played. I want to recognize Mike Baker, our VP of Operations, who came down. He's going to be down and back here a lot. Maybe he'll buy a house here too, I don't know. And I want to recognize a couple of people from our Kennett team. Bryce Parrish, who is actually a Cim-Tek employee from Bement. I think he was a classmate a few years ahead of me. But he was the first one to raise his hand and say, I'll go down there. And he's our facilities manager up there. He's our facilities manager here. Justin Tate, our plant manager. Where's Justin? Thank you, Justin. We're fortunate to have him, another local. So happy to have him leading the team. We have lots of opportunity here. And I must say a big thank you to Brad Stark, who's behind the camera there. Brad does our marketing. He put a lot of effort. I don't know how many meetings we had planning for this day, but thank you, Brad. As I close, I just want to say, everyone's relieved now as I close. Finally. I want to say one big thank you again to everyone involved. County Commission, City Council, Economic Development folks, everyone from the chamber, the community. The list goes on and on. It was truly a team effort. We felt that from the beginning. We still feel that today. We're proud to say that Cim-Tek filters have been made in the USA for 67 years. And the future is bright for Cim-Tek. We plan on Kennett playing a big role in allowing us to continue being made in the USA for many decades to come. These are the main product we have here. We have some commemorative filters that mark today in the opening of the factory. So we encourage you all to take them. They don't work, so don't try and use them unless you want to play a joke on someone. And I was told to demonstrate that you can take this off the top and set it, and it's a nice little holder here you can put on your shelf. So you don't have to take one if you don't want it, but it's a big deal for us. So take a look at that as you go.
Thank you guys all for being here today. On behalf of the Department of Economic Development, we are so excited to welcome Cim-Tek to Kennett, and especially the Ayers family. It's always special for us. This isn't just a company coming in, it's a family, and we appreciate that. We see that you guys have a vision, not just for the employment you have now, but for growth, development, diversification, and that just means the world to Dunklin County, to Kennett, and the citizens who live here. So happy to partner with you all on Missouri Works, Missouri One Start. Leanne Clark from Three Rivers, who handles our One Start customized training funding, is here, and just great to have the opportunity to see you all, and thanks everyone for coming out. It's our job to be here and help, so don't hesitate to ever call. And I think Tommy's got my cell phone number, so thank you so much.
I'm Cameron Parker, as she said, and I'm actually delighted to be here and be able to share in this excitement today for our community and for Cim-Tek. So I recall about a year ago that several of us here were at the Grecian when there was going to be an announcement of an industry that was coming to Kennett to make Kennett their home. And sitting in that room that day, I remember seeing the business owners, and they were looking for a place, and they had been talking about where they were going to go, and they had looked here and there, and they thought that Kennett would be the appropriate place. And I also remember seeing all the community leaders there, that they had been working very hard to get Cim-Tek to come to our area. And that day I remember the excitement and the thrill and just all the energy in that room. And I feel that today. We have that today. And here we are a year later doing the ribbon cutting for this industry, and it is amazing for Kennett. So first of all, I would like to welcome Cim-Tek. Thank you all for coming. But on the drive-in this morning, I saw a billboard that said, "We're glad you're here." And it is so true. We're so glad that you chose Kennett and Southeast Missouri to come be a part of our area. It's our home, and we want to make it your home as well. Secondly, I'd like to thank and commend all the business leaders, the folks that worked hard to get them here. With your long hours, your negotiations, this is not a small feat to get something like this done in our area, and I appreciate you. Thank you for doing it. And without you all, we wouldn't be able to celebrate here today, bringing back industry to Kennett. And that's what this truly is, a celebration today. So welcome, Cim-Tek. Glad you chose Kennett. I always say this, it's the greatest place with the best folks. And we wish you years of prosperity.
Great to be here today. I'm State Senator Jason Bean from the 25th District. I heard somebody talk about fonts earlier. How about that font? I also heard about a warm welcome. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a hot welcome. But once again, it's great to be here in Kennett. Congratulations to Cim-Tek on choosing Kennett, and congratulations to the city of Kennett for such a great day. I get to do a couple things that are so great in my job. First of all, I get to represent truly the best people in the state of Missouri, no doubt. And I think Cim-Tek's going to find that out when they hire people here to hire great, hardworking people from Southeast Missouri. They're going to put out a great product. By the way, I've used plenty of your products as a farmer, put on a lot of fuel filters. Usually that's not a good day when I'm changing fuel filters, but I sure am glad. And hey, now I know I can come right here and get them when
Don't use the one that they're sending out.
I'm glad I heard that because I've been using that. The other thing is, I just want to say thank you to all people once again that made this happen. City of Kennett, Mayor, great job, Mayor as well. Also the county commissioners, people pulling together to make this happen is truly what our area is all about. The other thing, when I say I get to do two things, I represent truly a great area. I mean, when you think about Southeast Missouri, we are strategically located to be a true hub for manufacturing, not only for the state of Missouri, but for the world. Because what's to our east? Mississippi River. We've got I-55. We've got I-57 that's going to be expanding. We also have got 412, which is a 4-lane to Kennett from I-55, and hopefully very soon 4-lane all the way into Arkansas. So once again, I truly have a great job getting to represent great people and a great area. So once again, congratulations to Cim-Tek. I just want to point out one person that I think really made this event possible. Melissa Combs, great job. I think we need to give her a round of applause. And before I turn the podium over here to Mike, I also want to point out Matt Bain, Senator Hawley's office, Madison Baker, I think I saw you somewhere, Keith Robbins, also, thank you all for being here that are with Senator Smith, Congressman Smith's office. Thank you all for being here as well.
On my way in here this morning, I stopped and got a sugar baby, by the way, before I was almost late. But on behalf of Congressman Jason Smith, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, congratulations, Ayers family, and I got a letter from him I want to present to you. Can I get James and Jeff up here, please? Want to welcome you to Southeast Missouri as you expand Cim-Tek Filtration to Kennett. Congratulations. As you celebrate 67 years in business, I want to congratulate you on the opening of your Missouri location. It is industries like yours that fuel our local economy. Please know that I join your friends and family in celebrating this momentous occasion. Thank you for making Southeast Missouri a better place to live and work. I wish you many successful years to come. Reach out to me or my office at any time. Again, congratulations and welcome to the 8th Congressional District. Signed, Jason T. Smith, member of Congress.
Days like today are what every economic development practitioner strives for. We work hard to market our communities and make them the best they can be. We hope that an industry or a large employer will find our community and choose to locate here. Once they do choose us, we help them manage the logistics of turning the lights on, hiring employees, into small things like who's going to mow the grass and where do we find the best local pizza to feed people. So that's all in the scope of work that you may not see. I am particularly proud that this manufacturer chose this community. They fit in here so well. Over the past 2 years, the Cim-Tek Filtration family, the Ayers family, and I have spent quite a bit of time together. I feel like I know them pretty well. And I can honestly say to you that they are valuable community partners and they will continue to be valuable community partners. They have proven that, and I'm so excited to witness their growth. I would like to thank the Dunklin County Commission for having the foresight to create a per-jobs incentive package to recruit businesses to our county. Cim-Tek Filtration is the first business to utilize this package, and I'm confident that we'll be able to use it to acquire new employers just like them in the near future. I would also like to thank the state of Missouri for using the workforce and training incentives that were mentioned to you earlier. Those are going to put our citizens to work. And I also would like to thank the City of Kennett employees and the Kennett Chamber staff for working so hard to put this event together today.
1, 2, 3.